On this episode of Cinema Disaster, I'm going to be showing you around Cinema Disaster headquarters here, where I broadcast my show, and show you kind of some of the stuff that I got. Like I said, I'm a film nerd and a music nerd, as you'll find out. And it's just a bunch of, junk. That's not junk, but, to me, it has value, But it's just going to end up in a land pile someday when I'm dead. Anyway, yeah, stick around and see what kind of stuff I've been hoarding. Okay, right here I have some of my movies. Some of my VHS collection is down here. Suicidal Tendencies hat that I bought from the band a long time ago. We got, Repo Man, Night of the Creeps, Escape from New York. Some of the essentials that are in here, and just some extra stuff that I got. The Forbidden Planet. Over here, there's more VHS, which I said in a video a long time ago. There was an old video store that was going out of business here in town. And they were selling off all of their VHS collection. And I went in there and raided the horror section. I bought so much stuff. And yeah, some of the DVDs that I've gathered over the years. On top of this, I have the Killer Clowns from Outer Space figure. Not sure which company put that out. If you know, then message me and let me know. I got it for Christmas one year. Back up here, we got the John Carpenter's They Live poster, and right above it, John Carpenter's Halloween. That I think I got off Amazon, possibly. Over here, we have my record player. We got some books, Garbage Pail Kids, Batman Handbook, some Trauma stuff, Bruce Campbell, 12 Days on the Road to Sex Pistols in America, H.P. Lovecraft, Skate and Destroy, American Hardcore. We got some of my toys, which this isn't even nothing. When I moved into this house, it was really small, so a lot of my stuff is in storage. But we have Boris Karloff as the Mummy, Frank the Bunny from Donnie Darko, Freddy Krueger, Ash from Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, Jason Voorhees. Some of these are McFarlane. This one back here, I think, may be NECA. I'm not sure. It's from some Misfits box set. It's from part of the 13th part, 7, The New Blood. It's Captain Spaulding. His top hat fell behind my desk here. This is the area where you're probably most familiar with, because this is where I shoot all of the Cinema Disaster episodes, in front of this section of my room. Army of Darkness poster. Up here we got Monster Squad, Sloppy Seconds, which is a great Ramones and Dickies inspired punk band from Indianapolis. There's where I met Sid Haig. I'm not sure which con it was, if it was Days of the Dead, but it was in Indianapolis. Got the Fright Night poster over here. Powell Peralta. I used to skateboard when I was younger, so I still like watching the videos online, and still interested in that type of thing. Met Ernie Hudson in Indianapolis as well. This is Catherine Mary Stewart's autograph, which you probably know her from Night of the Comet, Dudes, Last Starfighter, Mischief, things like that. Met her also at an Indianapolis con. This Scream candle, which I got for dirt cheap after Halloween. I think I got it for 10 cents. If you light it, I think it bleeds like red wax or something, but I've never done that. The Kick-Ass. This one I got at a horror sci-fi convention here in St. Louis. They were giving them out for free to promote the film. At a different contamination, yeah, it was called Contamination. At a different contamination in St. Louis, I met Michael Berryman from The Hills Have Eyes, Weird Science. Yeah. Doug Bradley, the guy that played Pinhead, I actually met him at a haunted house here in St. Louis back in '98, maybe, at a place called The Darkness. Up here, I got more Garbage Pail Kid stuff. I'm obviously a huge fan. Descendants, Bucked, which is like an old skate clothing company. Ramones, I saw them in '96 on the Adios Amigos tour. Because not only am I a big movie nerd, I'm also a music nerd. So there's the Dead Kennedys. I got a chance to meet Jello Biafra here in St. Louis when he did a spoken word. I met him at the record store in the Loop called Vintage Vinyl. My Logan's Run poster, that's not a real copy of Amazing Fantasy. It's a reprint. I just liked the picture, so I framed it. Danielle Harris from the Halloween films, Halloween 4 and 5. Also, she was in the Rob Zombie remake. I met her at Scarefest in Lexington, Kentucky. Night of the Creeps picture here. Mystery Science Theater 3000. Nirvana, that's actually an original poster from 1993. It's out of print now. Bill and Ted, obviously. Here's another one. When I met Robert Englund, was in 1999 at the Darkness. He was signing autographs. I got a chance to meet and talk to him. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This is actually Joel Robinson, who's this really great artist. He goes to a lot of conventions selling his stuff. I think it's like artpusher.net. You can go and you can buy prints of his work. It's all based around cult films, science fiction, and horror, stuff like that. Joy Division. Like I said, I'm a music nerd. I love Ian Curtis. And, this band, when Ian Curtis died, they became New Order. The Omega Man, which is one of the greatest science fiction horror Last Man on Earth movies. It's the Ghostbusters Bank, which I paid way too much for. Over here is some more of my movies. This is my comedy section. I got them, they go all the way down there. Over here I got Beneath the Planet of the Apes poster. Stupid glare from my light. I don't know if you can see that or not. Misfits, which is one of my favorite bands ever. Only Misfits with Glenn Danzig though. I'm not down with Michael Graves or any of that stuff. Just all of the old stuff from the late 70s and the early 80s. A couple more pictures I have here. Obviously Howard the Duck. I grew up with that. Black Flag. This would have been a great show to catch, actually, because Black Flag with the Subhumans. Well, I got a chance to see the Subhumans with NBC at the Firebird in St. Louis. This is obviously, I saw Flag at FUBAR. Red Cross is playing, and they're a great band. Angry Samoans, The Screws. Der Stab is actually a really underrated hardcore punk band from back in the day, but I ended up getting this off of eBay like a long time ago. Here, I've got some vinyl, some local bands here. Everything Went Black, Hard Evidence. This is a band called Disorder, which is an awesome punk band from the 80s. T-Rex the Slider, it's another great album. This is An American Nightmare. No, not American Nightmare. I was thinking Misfits. American Demon, which is another cool album by Jack Grisham from TSOL and Joy Killer. Go over here. We got some of my 7-inches, if you can see these. It's kind of dark. Ass Rash, Civil Disobedience, which are all like the Murderers. Those are all like Minneapolis bands. I actually got them at Extreme Noise, which is Felix Havoc from the band Destroy and Code 13. Uh, that his record shop. This is another local one, Bay San Pedano, with the Queers and the Cool Mutants. It's a great band from Indianapolis. If you like power pop, pop punk type stuff, all torn up. Destroy, Code 13, Bunny Grunt, which is another cool local, and that's is actually Better Days, another good local. This is a split with the Winchester, which was another cool local band. I'm not sure if they're still active. The Conformists, which is a mind-blowing band from where I live. High Life is another one. Very Metal, which was really big here when I was in high school back in the 90s. Die Wasted, Urban Decay, it's another Illinois band. Urban Decay Live. Cardiac Arrest. That's just another awesome St. Louis band. Hardcore punk if you're into that kind of stuff. But yeah. And this is a poster I got from a friend of mine. This is a band called Pissed Jeans. They're on Sub Pop Records. And Sub Pop Records, was famous back in the 90s for Mudhoney, Nirvana, and Tad, and Green River, bands like that. This is a more modern band. I don't know how long they've been around, at least 10 years, I would think. They're absolutely awesome. I would recommend any of their albums at all. Like Honeys, I'm not sure. This is like I don't know, maybe the third full length. I'm not sure, but they've released at least one or two more since then. But I haven't got a chance to get out and get them. All right, so that was Cinema Disaster Headquarters. You can see I got a lot of stuff. And like I said in the video, I have moved several times. And when I lived in a bigger house, I had much more room to work with. So I definitely have a lot more stuff in storage. And it's a work in progress. It's always an expanding collection. I've got movies. This isn't even all my movies that I showed you. That's just in this room. I got a whole nother room in there full of VHS and posters and DVDs, Blu-rays, things like that, figures. But that's for another video. I'll be coming back, I'm not sure when, sometime soon with some new episodes. And until then, keep watching.